Hello, SOC students. Welcome back to another week of distance learning. We've got a 4-day week this week, so I'm going to go over the agenda because it's only a 4-day week. We just have the 2 columns this week instead of having that third discussion-based column. We're trying to do things a little bit different, but kind of keeping it the same. I appreciate those of you that took the time to complete the survey on how things are going with you with regards to my class. Also appreciated all the fun comments. Miss you guys too. Weird not seeing you anymore this year. It's a tough thing to think about, but hopefully you guys will come back and visit sometime after this is all over and done. All right, jumping into it, we are in the same unit and essential question as we were last week, so production, distribution, and consumption. And our essential question, how do we get the things we need and want? Our learning goal is a little bit different. This week we're going to focus on explaining why governments faced with the same alternatives might make different choices. And so whether you're looking at the United States government and whether we're going to drill for oil in the United States using the process of fracking or other processes, are we going to do that, or are we going to slow oil production in the United States and buy oil from other countries? That is a decision that our government has had to make over the course of the years. And with every new administration, every new Congress, every new president, those decisions seem to be altered by who's in our government. So looking at things like that, and we're going to use the government of Laos in Asia as our example for this week. So looking at why the government of Laos has decided to dam a very important river in the region, the Mekong River. And so you're going to start by gathering some resources here in our content learning piece. I'd like you to choose 2 resources. If you only have time to do 1, that's fine. 2 just gives you a little bit bigger sense of the grand scheme of things, the picture. We have a YouTube video. This is my favorite of the resources. I would strongly encourage you guys to watch this if it is an option for you, if streaming isn't something that you're challenged with right now. But if you can't watch the YouTube video, there are 3 good reading resources as well. So take a look at those. And then you are going to be using the Google form to just take notes on the damming of the river. So specifically your instructions here say, take several notes describing the situation in Laos regarding the decision to dam the Mekong River. You should have notes that are approximately equivalent to 3/4 of a page, or if you're looking in a bulleted format, about 15 nice bulleted pieces of information. And so you have just a picture of the dam here, and you would write your answer in there. It is a long answer. It's paragraph formatted, so you should be able to write a pretty lengthy response there, and then just submit your name and hour. Once you have the content learning piece done, then you guys are going to jump into the exploration activities. This week our exploration activities is really more you showing me what you've learned from the resources in the content learning piece. So very important to recognize here that there are 3 options for things to do, but you only need to do 1. You're just going to choose one of the 3 options below. So I'll read the directions here. Describe the pros and cons of damming the river. Why did the government of Laos decide to dam the river? What were the benefits? What were the costs? So we have done cost analysis, cost-benefit analysis in 6th grade and in 7th grade. This is a review of cost-benefit analysis, but it is also a big part of how we get the things we need and want. We need to choose, especially as we look at scarcity, we need to choose how we're going to use our resources to get those things. Which things are we going to have? Which things are we not going to have? And whenever you get something, there's always a cost associated with that, whether the cost is monetary cost or a cost in things like time or some other cost. Okay, so even though there are 3 options, you still just have this one Google form. And this is where things are a little bit different this week, because the first thing you're going to do is choose which option you want to do to complete the assessment. You can do a Flipgrid. I have that linked back here, so you can click there and do the Flipgrid. If you do the Flipgrid, great. I still want you to submit this form just so I know to look for the Flipgrid there for you. You can create a visual representation, this second choice here. The visual representation is option 2. Really what you're doing is you're going to create a visual collage of the pros and cons associated with damming the river. So here's what I would do if I was choosing that. I would start by just doing a Google presentation. It's probably a quicker way to get to Google presentation, but once I get to Google presentation, what I'm going to do is then I'm going to look for things in my notes that show the pros and cons. So one thing that I remember from the video is that one of the pros of damming the river was that it is going to give the people electricity, if I could spell right. People that previously didn't have electricity are now going to be given electricity because the dam creates electrical power. And so not only can they sell that electrical power to other countries, but it also provides electricity to people in Laos that previously didn't have electricity. So I'm going to pick an image that I like for electricity, and I'm going to pop that into my Google presentation here. And so I might just have one slide that says pros. Maybe make it look nicer than that. But now I'm well on my way. I have a picture. I'm going to find another picture on something else. Maybe a con would be reduced fishing resources. Fishing resources being reduced, so I might just find a picture of fishing and pop that into a con slide. So use your notes. You don't need to provide a lot of other words or anything like that. You can if you want to describe why you chose the particular picture that you did, but as long as you're doing some sort of a visual representation that has 5 to 10 pictures of what positive attributes come from damming the river and 5 to 10 negative attributes to damming the river, that's what I'm looking for. And then the third thing is if you just want to complete an essay, that's fine too. I was trying to get you guys to do something a little bit more creative this week. But if you are just like, nope, I'm going to do an essay, then that's an option for you. However, I do want the essay to be fairly lengthy. You should provide multi-pieces of evidence from your notes, from those sources about the pros and the cons, and then the ultimate decision. You can include your opinion in there as well. And that is also listed here as option number 3 for you. Okay, how you're going to actually turn that in. First of all, you're going to tell me which one that you've chose. And then if you chose to do the visual representation, there is a box here for that you would just add your file to. You do still need to share it with me, I think. I'm not positive, but it would be good if you did. And then you're done. If you chose to do the essay, you're just going to actually do the essay right here within this Google form. If you did a Flipgrid, I will get your Flipgrid, and you just need to indicate here that you did the Flipgrid. And then name and hour, submit your response, and then that is it for completion of your assignments. So the first one is doing the note-taking on 2 of the resources provided above. The second thing is you're going to choose an option. You can choose to do the Flipgrid. You can choose to make the photo collage of the pro cons. Or you can complete an essay, but whichever way you choose to do, you're going to do that in Google form. And then one last thing, even if you're not doing the Flipgrid, some students will choose that. Take a look at those Flipgrids. It's just good to hear from other kids. It might even help you to complete your essay or your your photo collage, if that's something that you're choosing to do, but it's also good just to see our classmates. Another thing to note, we will be having some Google Meets this week, so keep an eye out in Schoology and in your email for information on that. And I am done for the week, and have a good day off on Friday and on Monday, and I hope to see you guys around. Email me with any questions. Bye.